I am Lizzy with Long Distance Gamers, and today I'm going to be talking to you about Last Resort. It is a game that you can find on Kickstarter, so just check the description for that link. But let me go ahead and tell you what I think about it, and some of the things that you can expect to find when you do go and play it. Okay, so here we have, of course, the cover, which is awesome. But I want to show you a few different things. So we start off with the board. So this is a central board that you will get. And it has a little bit of different information. It has each of these tracks for all of the different visitors that you could get. So green represents inspiration, red is thrills, blue is relaxation, and pink is entertainment. So you can get all of those different ones throughout the game. So here's a few of them. Just really cute. This is, of course, the tabletop simulator version, so check out the Kickstarter for what these will look like for the actual things. And then these are the player pieces, and that tracks where you're at in the round. Some other information that we have here, you will notice that each of these, each player starts with a different value, so you have somewhat of an asymmetrical start. So blue wants to really focus on the relaxation, while red or orange is really focused on thrills. And of course purple's entertainment. And then we got green for the inspiration. So the color you are kind of goes with the track that you really want. So this center board, go ahead and zoom in a bit. So it shows you all the different things that you'll do once per round. And then you'll have the end of year. You'll have 3 end of years until the game ends. And then you get victory points for however far you are along the track. So if you're the very first one, you get 10 victory points in a 3 or more player game. If you're second, you get third. And in a 4-player game, if you're third, you get 3. That'll make much more sense later on. So the first thing you do is you will decide what card you want to play. We have amenities, attractions, improvements, and these berths. And bear in mind, this is a little bit just a screenshot, so the quality's not the same as the actual cards. So the first thing you do, which this guy reminds you of, is that you're going to check to see if you conflicted with anyone. If you do conflict with anyone, if anyone plays the same exact card as you have to take one of the malfunction tiles, and that will go in, I will bring up a player board. It will go in your lowest value that's adjacent to one of yours. So you start with 2 of them. So if you would get a malfunction, you would first have to cover up this 0, which at the beginning of the game, it actually starts covered. So then you would have to cover up that 2. So on and so forth. Next, what you would do is you would clear off either all of this color or all of that color tiles. And it's the same for that as well. For both of these 2 cards, you get to grab one of those 2 tiles, one design and go with the color, and you just pay the cost, and we will get to that in a second. For the improvements, you will still have the clash, but you will go up on every one of those tracks. So the ones that you really want to get to at the end of the game, that helps you go up on the track. And then any 4 you can clear out. You get the victory points from any 4 tiles. And then if you meet the qualifications, you can get one of these game tiles. You can only have these once per game. And if you notice this symbol here, this matches that symbol. That's a reminder that because this one is so powerful, normally after every round you play, you get your card back. This one you can only play once per year. So you will play it, and then it will be out. You can't get it back until the end of the year. And then we have the berths. If you happen to clash with someone with the berths, you don't put a malfunction tile out. So awesome. And then you can clear out either of those 2 colors. And then you can grab another berth and you can remove a malfunction. So this is how you remove those nasty malfunctions. So there is that. So something to note there, I just want to show you all the different player boards really quick. Really nice colors. I mean, I like there being pink, so yay on that. But I'm going to focus on just the pink one. So all of these have a certain dollar amount here, which this is victory points as well as your money, pretty much. So when you're placing one of those two tiles, you'll well, when you place a tile, you'll place them on one of these spots. And then if you place one of those two colors, you have to pay the cost of the tile, which is printed on the tile, and then you have to pay the cost of whatever you're placing it on. So if you would place it here, you would have to pay 2 plus the value of there. If you'd play here, you'd have to pay 8 plus the value. For the berths, you just have to pay the 3 that it costs, because they cost 3, but you don't have to pay the cost that's printed there. So it's really a good idea to put the berths on those 8s. And then for that green tile that I was referring to, there are once per game, you can get one of them per game, and then you can use them every round thereafter, but you have to fulfill these. So you have to have 2 of each of these types of rooms in your space resort. But they are really powerful. So we'll show these up. So like this one, you choose 2 cards, and then after everyone's revealed what cards they've chosen, you then choose one of the cards to play, so you can get out of conflicts easier. In a 2-player game, that is super powerful. And then here, once per turn, or once per gathering of the visitors phase, which we will get to that in a second, you can turn them into a different color. And so there's quite a few different ones of these. And they change the game. They give you a special power that is uber powerful. You just have to have the requirements to be able to build them. So every round you choose a card, and then as long as you're not in conflicts with someone, these can all be done simultaneously as everyone else. So what happens is you will clear one of these tiles, well, all of them. So like you could include all of your reds on this one, or all of your sleeper tiles. Here you could do all of your blues or all of your sleeper tiles. And so how that works is each of these has a value right here. For every one you remove, you get that victory points. So you could get 2, 3, 4 if you have all of these covered and choose to pull this one out. And so this one, that is the green sleeper one that matches that. This is a blue and a red tile, which is pretty nice. And then while you're gathering these, you're also getting more of the different colors of tiles. They start off pretty simple, and then they get more expensive and better throughout. So like this is the red tiles. It starts off with the round 1 or year 1, year 2, and year 3 ones. So this one would cost 3, and you'd be able to place a purple right there. And when you pull him off, you get 4 money. You get 4 victory points. That's awesome. Here you would get 5, and then here it could be a red or a purple and give you 5. For the blues, we start off with being able to place a blue and then a blue or a green here, and they're 2 each. And then we have a blue, blue, green, green, a little bit more expensive. And then for year 3, we get a little bit cheaper, but they also only give you 1 victory points each. You can get those throughout the years. Add them in when you're bringing in your visitors, because what happens is after you grab your tile, these visitors will come out. So depending on how many you have, so in this instance, if we were playing a 2-player game, if we got all the way around, because this is close to the end of the year, the end of the game even, we would be pulling out 27 of these visitors, which you start off only pulling out 11, I think. For a 2-player game, yeah, it's 11, 11, then 13. You see that it goes up every time. And so you'll pull these out, and you'll be pulling these one by one and then putting them on your board. So every year you go in A, B, and C, and you have a different focus. A, the highest importance will be the blue track. So whoever is highest in the blue track will draw first, and then it goes down from there. And then we have the red track and then the green track, and then these are random. This is random every time. So you'll pull out a new card every year, and then you'll know which ones are important. And then while you're pulling them off and then placing them in the spots that you're allowed to place them in, when there's the last ones that you're pulling and you have nowhere to place them, you have to eject them. And then when you do, if like you would eject a green one, then you would go back on the track of whatever color it would be. So it really hurts you if you can't place them. So you do have to make sure that you have enough spaces for all the different colors, but you want to be able to have the ability to pull them off easier so that we can get more victory points, to be able to buy more tiles, to be able to buy more places to put these. So it's a really interesting push and pull with that. And these visitors come out randomly, so while you start with 11 at the beginning of the round, at the beginning of the game, it escalates very quickly to 33 or something like that at the very last round. So, and that's in a 2-player game, so you're going to be grabbing like 17 of these people, and if you don't have places for them, they're going to be ejected, and they'll give you a bad rating, so you fall back on the rating scale. Something to note about the birth tiles, you have to have all of these filled out when you pull them off. They just have to be different colors from each other, and then you'll get 3 victory points. If you only have 2 on here when you go to pull them off, you won't get any victory points. So that is a little bit of a difference with the births, which is why you do get to place them on your ship or on your resort a little bit cheaper. Something also to note about where you place your tiles, at the end of every year, you will get up on every prestige track for how many of these tiles, which are your viewpoints, that you have uncovered. So if you haven't covered it, so right now you would get 4 on every one of your prestige tracks. However, if you have one of them covered with a tile, you would then go up 3 on every of the prestige tracks. So you definitely want to keep these out, but at the same time you want to cover them because they're so much cheaper, and the malfunctions when you get them will cover those up immediately anyways. So it's a kind of a push and a pull on how you want to utilize placing on top of those versus keeping them open for the end of the year. But you'll just keep going through this every year. You'll move this along. You'll be placing visitors out here, pulling them out, putting them on your board in their little individual rooms, playing cards to pull them off and try to get victory points from doing that, and then buying new cards. And then at the very end of, you see whoever has the most money is the winner. But yeah, definitely go check out the Kickstarter for all the final art, components, rules, all of that. And also there's an expansion that I'm not really familiar with, but there's going to be malfunction tiles, those malfunction tiles that just go placed on something if you conflict with anything. There'll be negative interactions, so that'll be even more of an advanced variant. And then there's a solo variant that has cards that an AI will play against you, so interesting to see what that will be like. Even with it being Tabletop Simulator, which is something that I am not a fan of. Our group, we play physical games remotely, so we have it on our table and we're touching it and we can move things around. Playing around with a screen is not something that I find enjoyment with, but even with that, I still rate this game an 8.5 out of 10. I absolutely have adored the gameplay, and I can see how those births with the variations of the malfunctions will be just that much more epic and will add more variability, while it still provides a great entry level point so you can play this with people that aren't quite yet gamers but have some desire to sit down and play games with you. But until next time, just remember to have fun, be present, and be you. Thank you all for watching. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to reach out to us. We would love to hear from you. Also, if you find value in our content, please like, comment, or subscribe. Let a friend or family member know that we exist. Help us spread our channel and bring remote gaming to a table near you. Thank you very much, and have a great day.